Good morning. My name is Nick, and my Dharma name is Won Buddhist. It's an honor to be practicing here today with you for our Sunday live Dharma. I feel like these weeks of the transition from summer to fall are some of the most beautiful of the year, and I'm grateful to be spending them here together with you. Today, our good friend from New York, John Del Conte, Wan Shim Kun, will be sharing his Dharma talk, Dog Dharma. But before we begin, let's practice by reading the essential dharmas of daily practice together on page 11. Essential dharmas of daily practice. The mind is originally free from disturbance, but disturbances arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the equanimity of our true nature by letting go of disturbances. The mind is originally free from delusion, but delusions arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the wisdom of our true nature by letting go of delusions. The mind is originally free from wrongdoing, but wrongdoings arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the precepts of our true nature by letting go of wrongdoings. Let us replace disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. Let us turn resentment into gratitude. Let us turn dependency into self-reliance. Let us turn reluctance to learn into willingness to learn well. Let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness to teach well. Let us turn lack of public spirit into eagerness to serve the good of all. Now, please stand up behind your mats for peaceful relaxation Qi Gong movements. We're going to prepare for our sitting. Please feel free to participate as much or as little as your body allows. And we're going to start with our feet about shoulder width apart and take a moment to straighten your back, breathe in and breathe out, relaxing your shoulders, and just gather some awareness for your body. This time, as we breathe in, we're going to start bouncing up and down a little bit, bouncing our knees, allowing our arms to relax and bounce along. Can bounce to the right, to the left, backwards, and forwards, and side to side. And slowly come back to rest at the center. This time, breathe in, gathering your palms up, and then breathe out, pushing down. One more time. This time, breathe in and push out to the side like you're pushing against two walls. Feel the pressure in your arms, and then release. Next, breathe in and reach up towards the ceiling. Look up between your fingers and reach as high as you can, holding your breath, and breathe out. And release. And this time, breathe in out to the side, and breathe out, bending at the waist. We're going to gather our arms in a circle and then bring that circle up, slowly stacking your back. Reach up and release. So one more time, breathe in and out. Gather energy and breathe in. When you reach the top, release and breathe out. Back to center. Next, gather your hands up in front of you like this, relaxing your shoulders, and use one hand to push to the side and pull the other hand back like you're drawing a bow. Feel the tension in your arms, spread your fingers, and then release back to center. To the other side. And release. Breathe in, draw the bow. Breathe out, back to center. Back down. This time, gather energy in a ball in front of you. Breathing out, let the ball go to about the size of a tennis ball, and then breathe in, slowly gathering the energy. Breathe out, breathe in. Swap hands. Breathe in. And breathe out. This time, swap the hands. And as you breathe in, one hand is going to go up with the palm facing the ceiling, and the other hand down with the palm facing the floor, splitting heaven and earth. And then release back to center. Reverse the hands. One hand goes up, and the other goes down. One more time on both sides. And release down to the side. This time, we're going to do a couple of circles with our arms. Let's start with forward circles to relax. Whenever you're moving, try to cultivate your awareness of your body. Feel any tension or discomfort, and reverse the direction. Our goal in moving meditation is to find the stillness in our movement and to cultivate that quiet awareness so that we can smoothly transition into the seated meditation. And gently let your hands rest by your side. This time, take a moment to bend over at the waist. We're going to gather our hands at the bottom, and then breathing in, we're going to bring them to the side and over our head. When you reach the top, breathe out, And when you reach the bottom, come back up in the other direction. Just go at whatever pace feels comfortable for you. And one more time, come to rest at the bottom. Take a moment to breathe in and slowly raise up to standing. Relax. Breathe in and feel your body. Breathe out, relaxing. One more time, breathe in, gathering the energy. Breathe out. This time, breathe in and step to the side. Arms straight and knee bent. Holding the pose for just a little while. And then slowly back to center. To the other side. Release. One more time on both sides. And back to center. One last time, breathe in and breathe out. Let your hands rest by your side and gather your feet together and your palms together. Now, please join us for 4 bows to the Dharmakaya Buddha Fourfold Grace. These bows can be either standing or kneeling. And please use your cushion to support your knees if you are doing a full bow.
Four bows. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the marvelous gift of nature and the universe. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, the truth of interconnectedness among all beings. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws, which guides us, protects us, and promotes justice.
Let us settle in with singing bowl sound invitation. Meditation. This is a gift to us. First, let's settle in with the most comfortable position on the floor or in a chair. Rock your body from side to side, forward, backward, to create most comfortable, flat pelvic floor grounding energy between your sitting bone and floor or chair surface. Take a deep breath in and notice any tension in your body, on your body. Breathe out, release any physical uneasiness. As you scan your body from head to toes, imagine your back is nicely opening up, stretching up, sitting up comfortably taller and taller without overarching your back at all, dropping any tension and weight on your shoulders. You feel your low back, lumbar 4 and 5, that area feels stronger, like a strong trunk above your taproot. Take a deep breath in again. Notice any tension. Breathe out. Release any mental or physical uneasiness. When it comes to sitting meditation posture, it is okay to slouch a little bit if that feels more natural to you. Only if your body agrees, gradually sit up tall, opening your heart and chest more and more. By doing so, you may start to feel your lower abdomen helping your grounding energy with your low back getting stronger. And again, your heart and chest opening up more and more. Take a soft breath in and softly release any lingering tension in your mind or body. With your eyes, imagine you're looking straight ahead so that you feel your ears softly aligned right above your shoulders. Then simply relax your eyelids. Whenever you are crowded with your thoughts, And softly open your eyes so that you are aware here where you are. And now, not yesterday, not an hour ago or 10 minutes ago, not tomorrow or later. Bring your awareness to your tongue. Place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth. While your tongue is relaxed on your palate, you may experience pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. That is a delightful sign of a cool energy ascending. Don't forget to smile and enjoy at your calm, clear spirit. Be here now. Be aware of your present being. Come back to your breath. Come back to releasing your thoughts or any uneasiness again and again. That is our right and our privilege. We owned this moment of practice. And we support one another with our focused, dedicated, calm presence.
Page 4. 영주. 천지연기 하심정 만사여의 하심동 천지와 동일체 하여 천지 동심정. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth settles in my being. My spirit penetrates all things as my mind wills. Heaven, earth, and I become one. I am one with the way of heaven and earth.
Prayer for world peace.
Grace
Of heaven and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings, grace of laws. O Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, may we take refuge in Dharma and be filled with compassion and wisdom. May we transform delusion into wisdom, greed into generosity, resentment into gratitude, discord into harmony, and hatred into compassion. May all nations grow and benefit mutually. May the strong help the weak, and may the weak learn and evolve according to Dharma. May all those who have died from world conflicts and disasters be delivered through all obstacles and be at rest. May there be peace throughout the world, and many beings enjoy tranquility and happiness, living in their original true nature. This we pray with our whole hearts. 내 손길 닿는 곳, 내 발길 머무는 곳, 내 음성 메리치는 곳, 내 마음 향하는 곳마다 우리 모두 다 함께 우리 성불제주 인연이 되어지나. I wish and pray, sincerely and truly, where my hands touch the world, where my feet walk on the earth, where my voice echoes through the hills, and in all realms where my heart and mind reach, that we all together share a true affinity for attaining great enlightenment and for helping all living beings.
Sutra chanting. Today, let us chant Ilwon Sangvow, page 6 in Korean. You're welcome to join us chanting, or you can just listen in, resting your soul, mind, and heart in the vibration of this chant. 일원상 서원문 일원은 하나도단의 입정처이요 유무초월을
생사문인바 천지부고동포 법률의 본원이여 제불조사범부 중생의 성품으로 능히 성유상하고 능히 성무상하여 유상으로 보면 상주불멸로 여여자연하여 무량세계를 전개하였고 우상으로 보면 우주의 성주계공과 만물의 생로병사와 사생의 심신작용을 따라 육도로 변화를 시켜 혹은 진급으로 혹은 강급으로 혹은 생어예로 혹은 해생어은으로 이와 같이 무량세계를 전개하였나니 우리 어리석은 중생 이 법신불일원상을 제받아서 심신을 원만하게 수호하는 공부를 하며 또는 사리를 원만하게 하는 공부를 하며 또는 심신을 원만하게 사용하는 공부를 지성으로 하여 진급이 되고 은혜는 입을지언정 강급이 되고 해독은 입지 아니하기로써 일원의 위력을 얻도록까지 서원하고 일원의 재성에 합하도록까지 서원함.
Ilwon Song Vow in English, page 9. Ilwon Song Vow.
Ilwon is the realm of samadhi beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and lost the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, unenlightened people, and sentient beings. Ilwon manifests as both permanence and impermanence. It has permanence. Ilwon unfolds into an infinite
spontaneous, just as it viewed as impermanent, till one unfolds into infinite worlds through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies. In the four forms of birth we transform through the 6 realms of existence, progressing or regressing with grace, arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Won Sangha Dharmakaya Buddha, by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply, knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, and using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of Won and become one with the nature of Won.
That's actually a video.
And then the more you cut, they grow back fresh and nice. So please feel free to comment. Feel free to take these chives to your meal table anytime. Welcome. Enjoy.
This morning, our good temple friend from the One Dharma Center community, John Del
This
Conte,
morning,
Won
a
Shingun,
good temple
is
friend
going to share his Dharma talk,
from the Won Dharma
Dog
Center
Dharma.
community.
Let us practice deep listening as we listen to John's reflections.
Hello, I am John Del Conte, and my Dharma name is Won Shingun, and I've been practicing for several years. Started out at the North Carolina Temple, and now am at the Won Dharma Center up in Clavert, New York. I wanted to talk to you about this process that I've undertaken with training my niece's dog, Lenny. So over the past 4 months, I've been helping her train Leonard. This experience reminds me a lot about the training that we receive at the Won Dharma Center. So it seems to me that it's mainly about calming our rambunctious mind. Just as the dog has a rambunctious temperament, so do we. But we're lucky enough to have some training about calming our temperament. And Master Sotasan has written about this in the section on practice, chapter 3. The founding master said, there are two paths to attaining the power of cultivation. One is cultivation of temperament, and the other is the cultivation of mind nature. For example, a soldier who attains an immovable state of mind by disciplining his mind in actual combat is the cultivation of the external discipline of temperament. A practitioner of the way who attains an immovable state of mind with regard to any favorable or adverse conditions by conquering the minions of Mara amid the sensory conditions of the 5 desires is the cultivation of the internal discipline of the mind nature. But first, let me describe how the situation came about. My niece and her boyfriend bought Lenny during COVID as an impulse buy at the local mall. He was the cutest dog in the shop, and they just couldn't turn him down. And my niece just needed something cuddly during all that time of isolation. Lenny is an Aussie Doodle, so he's a mix of Australian Shepherd and a Poodle. Unfortunately, in their busy household with 2 small children and other commitments, Lenny did not get walked very much or trained during his first 2 years of life. So when members of her household did try to walk him, he was very much out of control on the leash. He would bound and lunge at cars after they passed by, and before long they gave up on trying to walk him. So Lenny then became more frustrated and tore up his beds, and he grabbed at the children's toys. And he also nipped at people when they tried to take something out of his mouth that he shouldn't have taken. So he ended up being confined to the kitchen on the hard tile floor. And although they have a backyard and they let him out in the backyard, he had a kind of a bleak and lonely existence. The members of the family did not want him around, and one said they would not even mind if he passed away. Another asked me why I liked him. And so I felt empathy for Lenny because he was not fully a part of the family. But I have to admit that he was becoming very difficult to love. Most times when I would see him, he would nip at my clothing, and he in fact ripped at least 2 pairs of my pants and 2 shirts. So what to do about it? I had adopted a somewhat grumpy dog and I had him for about 15 years. So I knew a little bit about dog training. I had seen the television show about the dog whisperer, where the trainer Cesar Millan would show people how to train problem dogs. A couple of things I remembered from the show was that dogs needed exercise. So I vowed that I would be the one to walk him twice a day to try to burn off some of his energy and frustration as a first step. We then enrolled the dog in obedience training class. The training style of this class was completely about positive reinforcement. According to the dog whisperer, his training method was more about becoming the dominant pack leader. And so he used techniques like taking down the dog by the scruff of the neck when they are being aggressive. However, we were taught to only use positive reinforcement. That is, by using what the trainer called high-value treats, such as tasty cheese. We would reward the dog every time he does something that we wanted him to do. And we would pair that reward with telling him yes, and every time we gave him a treat. So you might have come across this technique when you, if you took psychology. The dog comes to associate the activities we want him with the tasty treats and the fun activities. And our intention is that over time, we begin to build his good habits. So after these 4 months of training, Lenny now walks more gently on the leash. He does not lunge after cars as much. Occasionally he might if the car is driving fast or is loud. He's learning to release the children's toys when we ask him to. But he still is really just wanting that cheese treat instead of the toy. And his nipping has dropped off considerably. I don't think I've gotten nipped in about 3 or 4 weeks. So these last few things, we still have to train out of him, but I have faith that we can work with him and even remove those last few negative behaviors. So that's what Lenny has learned. Now, let me summarize some of the lessons that I have learned from this process. One lesson is having faith in the power of consistent positive reinforcement. So if the analogy is between Lenny and our minds, if you want to train your mind to do something, becoming frustrated or angry with yourself is not as effective as patting yourself on the back for the small strides that you make each day in your practice. And it's also not the fanciness of the technique that seems to be effective. So you might not have the most highest quality meditation, but it's about being diligent about the application of it and doing it every day, if you can. But in fact, I have not missed a day of working with Lenny over the past 12 weeks or so, 12 to 16 weeks, except when I'm out of town. And when I'm out of town, I've hired a dog walker to keep up the routine. So you might say that this is an attempt to have one pointedness of mind for both Lenny and me during training. And you also have to believe that you're going to get there, even if the progress is slow. So another big lesson is the understanding of the root causes and realizing that Lenny's problems were the same as my problems. So Lenny, as I mentioned, is a mixture of 2 breeds, and both happen to be highly intelligent breeds. So when he's acting out by nipping and tearing up his bed and jumping, he was trying to tell his family that he needed to be more active and he needed to do some work. These actions were bred into him as a herding dog, at least a half of a herding dog, and the dog would be trying to get the sheep to move along. So we could label him as a bad dog or try to understand the origins of his nature in order to understand why he's behaving the way he is. Similarly, we need to understand our true nature, and this would help our practice and our life. So, and I mentioned that Lenny's problems were my problems because I could not be at peace if he was not at peace. So this reminds me, well, I came across this other line in the scriptures under chapter 3, practice, which stated, no matter what one may be doing, whether a person is wholly devoted to it or not, depends on how well they understand the connection to them. So although Lenny's disturbances disturbed me, I realized I had some power to change the situation. And a final lesson is that practice can lead to calmer temperament of body and mind. And this is really the main goal of what we're trying to work on. So the passing cars used to disturb Lenny, but now he's mostly learned to just consider them as cars passing by, which are not going to do him any harm. Now he could just peacefully watch them pass by, just like disturbances in our own mind. So if we show up every day to meditate, regardless of the quality of it, we can have faith that the temperament of our disturbed mind will subside. Once we get to a stable mind, we can live more peacefully and accomplish great things. So we move from this focused mind of training up to having an observing mind, to eventually having a liberated mind where all our habits and actions are in line with our goals, and we won't have to be as attentive. So this is our goal for both Lenny and our own minds. So in Lenny's case, he is used to looking up at me for a cheese treat, but we want that to become an ingrained habit for him to look toward me for permission to do most actions. So eventually that cheese treat hopefully can fall away and he could just embody what he's supposed to be doing. So I'm receiving other benefits from Lenny as my teacher. We're getting in lots of steps. We played chase. We played tug of war, and all this is good strength and interval training. So we are training together both physically as well as mentally. So to close, I want to thank Lenny for showing me the many reasons for having diligent, single-pointed training, for having positive, faithful, and consistency in my practice, and for understanding the root causes for our thinking and behaviors. And lastly, for recognizing the interconnectedness of the challenges and the benefits for all beings. So thank you very much. I appreciate sharing with you. So thank you very much. I appreciate sharing with you.
Well, I say thank you, John. You're not here, but thank you. That was awesome. I know John also loves cats as well. So, well, his talk reminded me of a couple of things that, we are all in the process of training our minds, whether you're here actively doing it at home, and we're trying to get rid of our bad habits and replace them with good habits. And patience, like you said, patience and persistence. And then at the end of the day, giving yourself that grace if you didn't think you did well or you had a bad day. So just forgive yourself and try again the next day. So that was really awesome. So I invite everybody just to pause for a moment now and just think about something from John's talk that resonated with you. Okay, so then friends at home, during the next few minutes, you're welcome to share your thoughts in the live chat or enjoy a few quiet minutes of reflection. And then friends here in the Dharma Hall, I invite you to please turn to one or two folks next to you and share your thoughts and questions about with each other about John's talk.
Thank you for your conversation. Let me read some comments that our friends who joined us online shared. Here, Matthew shared, I teach high schoolers, university students, which are just one step below dogs. Oh my, so a lot of this resonated. Ellie shared, great message. I know I get very hard on myself when I feel like I'm not making progress in the way that I feel like I should. Polly, thank you, John. So many great lessons. The message of consistency made a deep impression. Renee shared, good morning from Cary. Having worked with young children for many years, 2 decades, our own energy and positive demeanor makes an impact. There are times for firmness, but with the goal of help. Well, also Ellie said, my dog Rosie seemed to enjoy the message as well. I'm sure many dog lovers will resonate with this message a lot. Ellie, I can learn so much from our fur friends. Daniel shared, when I feel discouraged, getting angry is not as effective as reflecting on the small steps of progress. For me, self-anger actually makes things worse. Okay, we have more friends. Paula shared, thank you, John. Really appreciate the practical applications. Having faith and staying focused wholeheartedly are great reminders. Palms together. Thank you, Barbara Kaiser, for saying great message of consistency and just being there. Wow, thank you. Any friends here want to share your comments as well? Thank you. Oh, yes, Chris.
Well, I think we talked about how imagining. It's okay.
For online friends.
Imagining ourselves as that dog who barks at the moving car when we have distracted thoughts. It's extra motivation for me to say when I get distracted, don't be that dog.
Yeah. Oh, yes, wonderful. I really appreciate that analogy. That first, we are kind of jumping around by the car. Then, okay, let the cars pass by, let the disturbances pass by. And John connected with the Master Chang San's 4 steps of timeless meditation. First, focused mind. Second, observing mind. So I, focusing with the leash, stay on the trail, and then observing how disturbances pull me away and pull in and out. And then after that, experience some liberated state of mind. And then through this journey, the dog and trainer and our mind, our body become empowered. So that part of the Master Chang San's 4 stages practice is well embedded in this talk. Thank you, John, again, if you're watching us from upstate New York. Well, I appreciate all your practice today, and we have new friends today. Any new friends? Raise your hand, please. Wow, welcome. Big applause to our new visiting friends. Wonderful. We hope to see you again, and a big applause to our friends who are here. Your presence itself is so powerful. As a matter of fact, this week I'm heading to Korea to get ready for our 5 Dharma Friends pilgrimage trip to Korea. Exciting, yes. And I have a big favor to ask you. Please hold down the fort. What's the best way to hold down the fort? Yes, show up. Show up your presence. Just being there, like John was being there for his dog, Rennie. Just be here, just present, without judging about your practice. Keep showing up. And as a matter of fact, Reverend Shannon will give me a report. Who showed up today? I'll think of you, right? So we are together, connected, interconnected. Thank you. 감사합니다 for your practice and for your presence.
Like Reverend Won Gong just said, thank you for practicing with us. Today, this afternoon at 4 p.m., we're offering an outdoor nature meditation at the Raleigh Temple. If you're planning to join us, please bring a yoga mat or a beach towel for our peaceful sky gazing rest and universe upholding Qi Gong and more. And did you know that throughout the year, every single morning, we have a 6:30 a.m. morning meditation here in the Chapel Hill Dharma Hall? Early morning meditation is a great way to set the tone for each new day. All are welcome for 1 hour of quiet sitting. Thursday night Dharma study group is always open for you to join us, either online or in person. Please check out our website for more details, or by being on our community email list, you will receive updates and Zoom links for all of these programs and more. Today is September 15th. It is a wonderful time to enjoy the temple garden. It is the perfect spot for enjoying peaceful outdoor meditation or a bit of solitude in nature. To make our garden a welcoming place, you're also invited to join us in gardening meditation. Even a few minutes makes a difference. By pulling weeds around trees and plants, you are nurturing them. By picking fallen branches and pine cones, you are creating a safer and more welcoming garden for everyone. And please contact our reverends or talk to Linda to learn how you can help. And we always appreciate and thank you for your thoughtful donations. Now, let us turn to page 13 in our chanting booklet and bless each other with the morning prayer song.
Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day in your presence. Today full of health and with peace of mind, may I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with your grace. Today gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace, I begin a new day with compassion. Today making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for one world.
Big waving hands to our friends, to the universe.